recording now. Yeah, we're recording now. Sorry, I had to double check. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Everything But the Podcast. As you can see, I do not have Twisted Joker or Leslie from All Things Paranormal with me this week. They are both busy, but I do have two very special guests in Scott and Gina Dunn. They are the creators of Mandao, the comedy horror movie, and Schlep. I believe did I pronounce that right?
Yo, you got it. You got
it. Okay, just want to make sure I said it right. And Schlep, the movie, which are both available on Amazon Prime. You can watch that if you have Amazon Prime, which obviously I do. I think almost everybody in America at this point probably has Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Except maybe Twisted Joker, because I think he lost access to it. But if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch them out there. Watch them out. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is another thing you will learn on the podcast. I jumble over my words, mess up words. I do all that all the time.
I love it. I love it.
It's new to it. But yeah, so I guess the first movie you made would have been Schlep. So we'll talk a little bit about that first. And then obviously we're going to talk all about Mandao, because that's how I got in touch with you, was from the Mandao Twitter page.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about Schlep, how that came to be, and maybe the creative process of that.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, the Schlep was our first feature film ever.
Yeah.
You know, I've done some feature films as an actor, and they're all bad. So, but this one was sort of like, we were eating soup one night at a Korean restaurant in LA, and it was like, I was very frustrated with my acting career. I've been on Disney before and some shows like that, but I was like, man, I really want to go back to when I was younger and making movies with my friends, like, because that was and still is the biggest joy of my life. And so it was like, well, Gina was like, well, why don't we just do that? I'm like, yeah.
And I had zero producing experience or filmmaking experience. Zero.
But she does have the number one thing you need in a producer, which is passion and a belief in the project to get it all the way through, which is why we're here.
I was totally going to say money, but just
well, no. We did somehow scrounge up some money for this. But anyway, our first attempt in Schlep, Schlep to me is 3 movies. The first one, we went to Illinois with our friends and family and tried to make a movie, okay? And needless to say, we were not prepared. We didn't have sound, really. I got my own lav mics, but I didn't know how to operate them, so that kind of was worthless, right? And the script was terrible, of course, and just like, we'll just add them. We'll find what we're doing on the day, you know? And that can work, but it can also really blow up in your face, which it did for us.
Yeah.
So we shot 2 days in Illinois, and we realized this is not going to work. It's not going to work. And we went back to California, but we didn't feel like giving up. We were like, man, I don't want to end that way.
Right. We wanted to keep going.
Yeah, we want to keep going. So we launched another one. We went to Arizona with some actors from California, and we got real crew members, a real director of photography, a real sound mixer to come with us and do it right. So we learned some things on this iteration, but the script, the script was just an outline. He goes here and has an altercation with whoever, Right. And on the day, when you're trying to, I'm in the movies myself, of course, that's not a good way of setting up any scene. Like, you need to know where it's going, or at least rehearse, is what I found personally.
Right, you got to have a plan.
Yeah. Personally, someone is a genius out there and can do it just on the cuff. I like Larry David. But for me, I learned that was not going to work for this movie. We shot for 14 days, man. In Tucson. 14 days. We haven't had that many days since to make a movie. And that was a luxury. I wish that we had used that correctly. But anyway,
that's not even that much time, really.
I know.
Well,
I know.
The other thing that was so upsetting was that the location was at this boutique hotel in Arizona, and they just let us shoot there for free in exchange for staying there. So
really?
So we had this really great deal, or so we thought. But then, man, the general manager of the hotel didn't know about it.
Oh, who the heck worked out this deal if it wasn't the general manager?
It was the sales rep. So the sales rep who books groups and different guests at the hotel, he was the one who I coordinated with. So he was like, I'm going to tell the general manager everything's going to be great. But man, that guy.
He didn't do that.
No, he did not do that.
He didn't do that.
And that guy almost kicked us out several times. He hated us and he thought we were a complete nuisance. But we really were. It was like, 6 people? So we really weren't that invasive.
Small crew.
It was such a small cast and crew.
Well, I want to say this is that we shot the whole movie.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good. I didn't like it. It was missing a lot of things. Just personally, for me, I didn't like the story. I didn't like the characters. So I edited the whole movie myself, and I was seeing it. I'm like, ooh, I don't like this. How can I get the crew back? Because, like a director calling it. Yeah, you want to film again? Basically, I said we had some reshoots to do, So the movie that you saw, Tony, on Amazon was shot in about 4 days in Joshua Tree. This is the 3rd attempt. We shot it in 4 days.
Wait, hang on, go back. 4 days you shot that entire. That is insanity.
The Joshua Tree, the desert stuff. It was okay. Yeah, it was 4 days for that, and like literally 1 or 2 pickup days for extra stuff. That's it. So I mean, from 14 days to about 6.
Yeah, and then the studio lot was from
the previous movie.
The previous attempt. So attempt number 2, we shot 2 days on a studio lot because Scott had a friend who could do that. Yeah.
From my Kicking It days from Disney, I knew a guy, so it was we got to go there.
Yeah.
But that movie is like, now that I look at it, it's more about the story behind it to me. Just, the journey. Schlep is a perfect name for it. It's like an awkward journey,
And I think that's part about your movies that I like is they have the awkwardness even in the movies.
Dude, yes.
Like I pick up on the little things, like when it's Danny is the one in Schlep, right? And then his name is Jackson. Whenever he talks about the debris in your mind, but he says debris, like I pick up on little things like that, and I was like, that was totally intentional.
Yes, dude. That's great. Yes, because he actually knows how to pronounce debris.
Well, yeah, I would hope so. I mean, even if he didn't, it wouldn't matter because if it was naturally, it'd be even more hilarious.
Yeah. No,
it's those little moments that were like perfect.
You picked up something perfect, which is like my favorite type of humor is awkward. Mm-hmm. Like these awkward moments, the awkward silences, the awkward exchanges. Like in my life, some of the funniest things I'll hang out with someone, or you and I will hang out with someone, and it's like, remember that part where you just like, like there was an awkward moment. That's what makes me laugh, So that's where my movies are kind of going.
Yeah.
I love it. It's the same thing with like the YouTubes that I watch or the other YouTubers. It's always those like randomly awkward moments during gameplays or whatever that make it funnier to me.
Yeah.
And I tend to have a lot of those, like I said, with my jumbling of words. There's a lot of awkward moments in there because
That's beautiful.
Of that. Yeah. But it's just part of my personality and people love it. So
yes.
Yeah, I think that, and the other thing I did notice was I liked how you started in black and white and then you transitioned from black and white to color. And when you started in black and white, it reminded me of Clerks. Because from back in the day. Like that gave me a very Clerksy kind of vibe. And it was almost the same kind of story where there was like romance and then the friends coming together and bonding. So it was similar. Well, not the same story, obviously, but similar in like where it gave me memories of that movie, but then still stood on its own as well, which I thought was really awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah, well, Clerks is obviously one of those like landmark indie inspirations.
That's what I was trying to get at. That and the black and white, because I don't watch a lot of like black and white movies that are more modern. Yeah. So seeing someone take that approach was really cool to me.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to think. I did a skit back in the day called A Day in the Life of Slender, and I cannot remember if I did. I think I did that black and white. I'll have to link you that one later too, because you'll probably laugh.
Yeah, I want all the links.
If you want to see Slender Man, literally Slender Man just going through daily life activities.
I love that.
That's literally the first video, or the first like skit video I did on my channel. And once again,
brilliant concept.
It was all done, but that stuff just pops in my head. Like it just, and literally, if it pops in my head, I'm afraid I'll lose it, so I have to film it immediately.
That's perfect. That's inspirational. Good. No, you know what? You remind me of me too. I remember going through a meltdown doing acting, and I did these things called Jaded Actor on my channel, and that was all just like I had these caffeine pills. Okay.
Right.
you know, because it wasn't enough to just have coffee. So I popped those, and I was just like, I gotta do this. Yeah, and I just kind of filmed like how jaded I was being an actor, but it actually turned out kind of creative and fun.
And it's very clean humor too.
Yeah, it actually was pretty clean.
Yeah.
Those are the fun ones too, when they just come naturally, spur of the moment. You're like, you know what? I just want to do this. I'm just going to do it. And then I always respect the people that are willing to put it out there. Because a lot of people, even me in the beginning, even though I've done a multiple podcasts before I even started this one, I did another one back in 2017. So it like wasn't my first time to doing it, but it's still when you're coming back. Because I did it, I think I started in 2016 possibly. I've had dozens of podcasts. My problem with all of them is I quit all of them. This one I'm not quitting because I love doing this now. So I rediscovered my passion when I started this one. And I like the title of Everything But the Podcast. I think it's catchy. And whenever my wife actually came up with the title, and then automatically I thought of an Everything Bagel. That was kind of what popped in my head. But my co-host Twisted Joker is working on a logo, which is not an everything, but it's not an everything bagel, but he's got a really cool new logo that he's working on of like a microphone, and it's like developed into a skull and stuff.
Oh,
I've seen it already, and I was like, dude, you should be a tattoo artist. I mean, I know you're getting tattoos, but the art that this guy can come up with in like hours of time or like a day is pretty tremendous.
Oh, excellent.
That was just a little bit of promotion for my co-host, who probably doesn't get much of it from anybody, at least not on the podcast, considering I talk the most and they barely get a word in, so I got about in there somewhere. So moving from Schlep, the next thing you tackled would be the Mandao movie, which would be in the horror comedy aspect or theme of. How did you come up with the concept of that? Because that was a really clever concept with like the astral projection and going back in time. Like that's like horror, sci-fi, like everything mixed together, which is really cool.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for noticing that, because I'm always like, this is a fun concept. I want to do more of these, because just the concept, if I could personally astral project back in time and influence events, I just think that's cool. And you know, it's not a DeLorean, of course, but it's new, it's fresh to me. So one movie that I can point to that really piqued my interest was Insidious. Okay.
Yes.
Insidious. Yeah. That the way they used that, I thought it was just a haunted house movie, but when I realized that it was astral projection, I was like, whoa, okay, I like this. Cause I knew about astral projection, you know. Some of my friends can do lucid dreaming, and I was always so jealous of that, you know? Like, I want to do that. I want to have dreams that I want to have, not just that my weird brain does when I'm asleep. So the concept, I don't know how it actually came together, because actually this movie came together pretty fast. I was prepping another movie called Weird Folk. It was about, it took place in like 2016.
Election night.
The election night. And it was yeah. But you know what? This one was the better choice, because I love time travel. I love Back to the Future. I love it. You know, I watch it so much that it annoys her. Gina, right? Aren't you annoyed how much I...
Yeah.
My wife's not a fan of it, so it's kind of hard to convince her to watch that one with me.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love that series, but the amount that he watches it is like borderline.
I think that would wear on anybody.
Yeah, it's insane. Even me, I'm like, what are you doing? And then I click on, I just push play anyway.
That would be me with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s. I could watch that all the time. I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie is great. Like 1 and 2. I still haven't seen the third one though.
Really, I think you can get the whole DVD collection. At least I found it at Walmart for like $5. It was like awesome. What? That was a while ago, so you might, with COVID and everything, you might have a harder time. But if you look it up online, I'm sure you could find it for pretty cheap.
Yeah, probably.
And it was 4 movies. It was 4 movies, because it was the original 3, and then it was that TMNT, like the animated one they did.
I saw that one there too. I saw that one, the CGI one. The CGI one. I remember going to a drive-in and seeing that.
No, it wasn't the CGI one. It was literally a cartoon, like a 3-dimensional cartoon version called TMNT. It came out before the CGI one.
Oh, no. I know the Michael Bay one, CGI, but I'm talking about like You know,
yeah, I
like,
guess it would be. It was like 3D kind of,
3D.
And cartoon at the same time. So it's like,
yeah.
I have trouble considering it CGI.
Yeah, not the Michael Bay one. I saw that one too. Actually, the Michael Bay one wasn't that bad. I
think I did see that one, but when I first saw the trailer for that one, I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's not the 90s Turtles that I remember. This CGI does not look good.
It's just that with Michael Bay, he puts so much action that you forget what happens in the movie. Like, I can't even recall what happens
for Transformers,
in the movie.
we watched Transformers recently, and it was like, the first one is great, but there was also so much happening. I'm like, okay, I'm losing track. I'm losing track of what's happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Mandao, where the time, I'm a time travel junkie, and I think I get that from my dad. Okay. He is obsessed with time travel, and I had these characters from high school, Jay Mandao, Jackson. Those two specifically were characters that I made in high school, and I made movies with my friends back in the day, Tony.
Right.
So so it was like, well, we are not going to make the $50,000 that we're hoping to raise on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So let's do something. Can we do, what do we have? We had about $10,000 to $13,000, okay?
Right.
To make the whole movie. And it was like, let's make this movie. Let's make this movie because I love it. I love the characters. And we kind of just went for it, you know?
Right. And one of the things I love about that also, which I didn't get to comment yet, but how the ex-girlfriend of Jackson at the time thinks she's a vampire, but she's not a vampire, but she's stealing the blood and drinking it like a vampire. And I was like, you know, there's real people in real life who think they're vampires.
Dude,
so I caught on to that too.
We binge watched this show. It used to be on Netflix. It was called Occult Crimes. I don't know if it's still on there. But
not sure. I have so many streaming services, but unfortunately Netflix is no longer one of them because I had to drop some of them because my Hulu is like $80 a month.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm only making like $12.75 an hour. So when you start adding all these other streaming things, you're like, we gotta cut some of these.
Yeah.
But this show, it had a few episodes where, because there's a lot of people who really love vampires or obsess over vampires to the point where they do bloodletting and blood drinking and that kind of thing, and they believe that it gives them powers or strength and all these things. So we Scott used that idea to kind of make a more realistic vampire.
To me, that kind of character is sort of more interesting. Like, I don't want someone who's just like a straight up vampire, but I do know in this day and age, people are, like you said, Tony, like they really think that drinking blood gives them something, you know, like it gives them a power or it heals them or something. I just really think that's interesting. And these movies are sort of outlandish, but they are sort of also grounded in this weird reality truth or something you can realize, hey, yeah, that could happen. Maybe.
Yeah. Especially if you pay attention to, or like I said, if you watch enough paranormal shows or listen to enough, eventually you're going to hear about the people out there that, I mean, it goes all the way back to Elizabeth Bathory, who bathed in blood to maintain her beauty. So it kind of all ties in.
Yes,
like that.
Dude. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So you directed the movie. I got to get into this again. You directed the movie, you produced the movie, you acted in the movie, you wrote for the movie, and you edited the movie.
Correct.
How the heck did you manage to toggle all of that?
Well, you know what? I'm used to doing it. Like, you're a YouTuber. Do you edit your own videos?
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of like that. It's.
Although I do very little editing most of the time, if I'm honest. I do a little bit of editing, but I don't have any kind of advanced editing software. So some of the stuff I want to do, I'm going to have to learn new software in order to do it. Like, I started trying to incorporate some stuff, like if I'm making an awkward face or something, trying to get it to zoom into the right spot. But with me just using the VideoPad software from NCH, it's like very, very simplified, which is easy for me for gaming videos because I don't do a lot of editing for those anyway. But if I want something more advanced, I think the new one is Hit Film Express, which I'm trying to still learn. There's like a free version and then a paid version.
Oh.
But I believe they have a one for filming too, which is like Hit Film Pro. But I think it's like $200 or something like. It's kind of expensive. It might not be that much, but I remember looking at it and seeing that it was expensive. But for YouTube, you can like get away with the most basic stuff for free without paying a dime. So if I can do that, I'm gonna do it for as long as possible. Yeah, like I said, I have enough bills. But I was paying the $17 a month or whatever for the video pad that I use, which for some reason I canceled that and was gonna make the switch to the hit film, and I'm still quietly, nobody heard this, I'm still using the video pad. I haven't got charged for it. So I don't know if maybe it just switched to a free version and still let me use it, or I don't know what's going on there. It's either the video pad or the wave pad, because they're both from the same company. So I use the wave pad to edit the podcast audio. Like for this, I'll have an audio only version that'll go up Wednesday, and then this one will go up on YouTube, which for a while I was going to put up on Patreon, but since I don't have any Patreon members yet, I'm just releasing everything for free. And then once I start getting Patreon members, then I'll probably start doing the more exclusive stuff. But I just want everybody to see it, you know?
Yeah, that's where it starts, right? I mean, that's where it starts.
And a lot of people are like, I really think it's cool that you're, like, releasing stuff for free. And I was like, that's just, it's hard for me to ask for money to begin with. And I'm like, if you want to go that route, and even the stuff that I do have on my tiers, I think my first tier is like $3. And my second tier is $5. I only have 3 tiers. I have a $3, a $5, which was originally $10, and I decreased it to $5. And then the last one is $25. But that one is only $25 because it guarantees anybody who gets onto that tier a item of $20 of equal to $20 in value every month. That, like, from my personal collection or something I find, I would ship off an item or a box, a mystery crate or something that was equal to $20.
That's
fun. That gives me $5. Obviously, for like the little bit of profit. So, and then I would give it the $20 item. So that's the only reason why that one's expensive. And the other two, I just like, I was like, the $10 one was for videos, and the $3 one is for other podcasts. So eventually because like I said, my mind is like explosive with podcast ideas. Like I have Popcorn Farts, which is dedicated, originally it was the one I was doing with my wife. I don't know why I came up with that title. Well, I do, because it was funny.
It's catchy. It's
catchy. Like, if this doesn't catch your attention somehow, but it also is a play on like pop culture, or also eating popcorn when you go to the movies.
Yeah.
And then the farts would come from, I watch what people would consider bad movies a lot of times. So like the worst of the worst will make it onto that list. Now, we've only done 1 episode so far because I just do so many things that I lose track of all the different podcasts. But the first episode was a movie called Ants on a Plane, which is also available on Amazon Prime.
Ants on a Plane.
Whoa.
I went into it thinking it was going to be absolutely horrible, and it was to a certain extent. But it was actually not that bad. Like, by the end of it, I was like, I think we gave it like a 3 out of 5.
Hey, that's
in
not
the
bad.
end, which really wasn't bad. Or maybe I raised it and said it was 3 out of 10, just so I could say it was a popcorn fart, just because I wanted to use that terminology so bad in the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I moved on to where instead of just doing bad movies, I want to do all movies. So future episodes could be anything. At some point, we might do like a Jaws or something like that. And
nice.
It's something fun because a lot of the stuff I do on my own. And this was one that allowed me to try and bring my wife into it with me, which was kind of cool.
She wants to join you, right? I mean,
with the popcorn farts, not with everything.
Popcorn farts.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so
that's great.
Once she once I help her work up her confidence and stuff like that, then we may do more stuff together. Which is
that's
what I
fun.
also think is cool about you guys, because you're doing this stuff together. So that's kind of a really cool thing as well.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question about doing those things, like, well, I can take bigger credit for the writer, director, actor, editor, but producing is like really on. I mean, Gina produces these things like no other, because she has, like we said earlier, passion, and she believes in the project, and she wants to see it happen just like I do.
Right.
So, but the acting, directing, writing, editing, that's kind of carried around. Like, that's been carried from when I was younger. You know, I used to do this all the time with my friends, just for fun. Like, we didn't even have YouTube at the time right away. We were just like, I want to make these movies and watch it with my friends.
I remember that too, because when I was a teenager, there was no YouTube.
No.
I'm going to be 33 in September. So whenever I was a teenager, there was, and if there was, I didn't know about it until like years later. But
when did you find out?
I didn't really find out about YouTube until like in my 20s, I don't think. And probably not even until my late 20s, because I didn't really watch. I didn't even have internet until like 3 years ago. So
really?
I don't even, we didn't have, well, we could connect to the Wi-Fi from the local Xfinity hotspot, so we'd pay like $20 to use that for a certain amount of days. And we live with my grandfather currently, so eventually we convinced him. It was like, look, you're not going to have to pay the bill or whatever. We're going to pay the bill, but you just let us have the internet guy whenever you're at work. He was still working at the time, come in and install the Wi-Fi. So now we finally have the Xfinity Wi-Fi installed in our room, so we have good internet connection here, which is perfect for everything. Yeah, but for the longest time, we were just using hotspots trying to make or like the mobile data on our phone. So for a lot of that, I was still gaming, but obviously without Wi-Fi, you can't do YouTube. Hence why I didn't start till like last year. It might not have even been 3 years ago. It might have only been like 2 years ago.
Wow.
I don't think I had it until I started back at my job that I'm working at now, which I believe was 2018. So yeah, it was probably 2 years ago when we finally had internet.
Wow.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, that's not usual, actually, which is kind of cool.
No.
That's a cool story.
Yeah.
That's why we have an entire backstock of DVDs and everything else everywhere. And that's probably also why we have so many streaming platforms now, because we finally have internet.
Because now that you have it, it's like
the riches.
Yeah, so now I get to go into my wrestling with the WWE Network. And then for a while, I think I did have the DC and the Marvel. I had to temporarily put a pause on that, but I'll probably be getting it soon. They're relatively cheap. But DC had some, when it started bringing in like Titans and some of those cool original shows they were doing, I was getting into. But I think right now it's Hulu. I don't remember what else. YouTube Premium, because I like having no ads on my YouTube.
Oh, wow.
I lost it for 2 days, like the week before last, because I didn't get paid until the Friday. So I didn't have any money for it. So I lost it for 2 days. And I realized like within 30 seconds, I was like, I got to get this back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You don't realize how inconvenient it is until the ads are coming back. But I think we paid the Hulu Live with, it's supposed to not have ads, but it still has ads, which drives me nuts. Because I'm like, I'm paying for no commercials and you're still giving me commercials. But I guess there's some fine line in there that with the live TV stuff, because live TV has commercials, your commercials can still come up. So they have like a little smidgen fine line in there. But I'm like, come on, I'm paying like $80 for this crap. Just give me no commercials. YouTube does it.
For $80?
Like, yeah, and YouTube does it and I'm paying like $13.
That's so pricey.
Very. I'm kind of surprised, actually.
Yeah.
Now my Hulu is bundled with the, I think it's bundled with Disney Plus. It comes with like a bundle of the Disney Plus and the ESPN.
You got that.
So I do have that too, which might be what bumped it up. But the live TV was what really bumped it up, because the base Hulu is what, 15?
Oh, I don't know. We don't know. We cord cut it a long time ago. We have Disney Plus, and I mean, right now that's one of the better deals if you like that kind of content. $6.99. I mean,
and it has Marvel and then Star Wars and all that. So obviously for me, because I get the throwback to the Spider-Man days from the '90s and watching stuff that I remember. That's why I keep it around.
I used to watch it all the time. Yeah, the old Spider-Man like cartoons during the 90s. Like when I was a kid, I used to watch that all the time, and it still holds up pretty well. I watched a few episodes.
Yeah, it really does. Same with like Batman the animated series.
Batman.
That one holds up even more now when you realize how dark it is when you're watching some of the episodes.
Yeah, no, that one aged like a fine wine. Seriously, like especially if you like.
I think I have Batman somewhere sitting. Yeah, he's sitting up here.
I see Joker. Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's Batman sitting up there. So I got a couple figures of those. I probably shouldn't have. I do unboxing sometimes on my channel, so I've been starting to pile as many collectibles behind me as I can. There's a lot back there.
The Batman by the Joker on the far right. What's that from?
I believe that is. It might be Injustice. I have an Injustice Superman somewhere. Yeah, here's the Injustice Superman sitting in the back. I just unboxed him recently.
Oh, sweet, man.
I mean, I'm running out of room for everything. And you can't quite, I don't think you can see the top shelf up there, but I got some on the very top. That one is a Star Wars. And then this one.
Oh.
This is probably the coolest thing I have right now, if I don't drop it on my head. It is the Rhino Alien.
Oh my gosh, dude!
This is a NECA figure, so I think they usually cost about $30, but they're typically fully posable. But what I like about him is he even has, if it wants to focus, he even has the tongue that can come out.
You just stick it up, right? Yeah.
No,
I think
it retreats.
Yeah, it literally extends out.
That's awesome.
Just like an alien. So that was one of my favorite things. I'm gonna just set these to the side and put it back up. I'm tall, but I ain't that tall. That's a little bit of a reach. But
I also see the it clown over there.
Yeah, I got a little bit of everything. And the one back here, my wife found for me. It's the Batman Classic TV series.
Yeah, I saw that.
See that.
So yeah, that one was really cool. I don't even know where she found that. I just know she found it. So, but yeah,
Dude,
that's the
these
first.
are
I think
great.
that may literally be the first time I've showed off collectibles on any of my videos.
I mean, you have a
But
great
with
collection.
the gaming, I dropped down the green screen, which is hanging above me for this. But I just drop it down, and it's not even a green screen. It's literally green fabric from Walmart. And I've heard somebody tell me that it looks better using that than their actual green screen. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna keep using it.
Yeah, I believe that.
That's something you guys are probably familiar with. Like I said, working with a smaller budget, it's kind of like that. Like you find the little things that work for the cheaper price, and you can get more done that way.
Yeah. In fact, it's like people saying, don't do this, don't do that. But in your mind, it's like, well, why can't you do that? And then you do it anyway, and it works. Don't listen to too many people saying, this is the way to do it. It's like, no, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Or the way you were told.
That's the way you were told to do it. There's so many ways to do things. So, yeah, I relate to you on that.
I'm a firm advocate of that. Like when people say don't do it, you can usually do it better than. And the people that say that they've done it and then tell you don't do it, you can usually do it better than them.
Yeah.
When you have a passion for something, I agree with that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this was originally going to be an interview, and it's literally just turned into a conversation. But that's how I do things on everything. But
hey,
that's how it is.
I like it.
I mean, I had for episode 16, we had Ming Chen and Mike Zapsik on from. I don't know if you ever watched Comic Book Men that used to come on AMC. It ran for about 7 seasons.
I'm aware of it. Wasn't Kevin Smith involved?
Yeah, Kevin Smith was. That was his show.
Yeah.
But they have podcasts as well. Like Ming and Mike have one, and then there's the Tell 'em Steve Day podcast, which I'm like a firm advocate. I think I'm a member of their Patreon. But I kind of like watch that show and love that show so much. It is available on Amazon Prime, actually. You can watch all 7 seasons.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I loved it so much that I've kind of followed all of their podcasts. But I had Ming and Mike on. It only costs, I think they let themselves be booked for like $40 for an hour of time. Which for someone who's been on a TV show that's been like on AMC for 7 seasons, like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I booked them for episode 16, and there was only 2 interview questions the entire episode. We covered weird news and just, I think I like making that switch because instead of doing just an interview, like I like doing the interview too, because obviously I want people to know about your movie because I love it. But I also like just talking to people and becoming friends with people. Because I like that social interaction, or I wouldn't be doing YouTube if I didn't like some kind of interaction. So I think that's kind of more of the approach I take with guests now is I like just talking about various things.
Yeah, no, I like it too. I mean, it's
I don't know if either of you are into video games at all. Are you into video games at all?
Well, you know what? I love video games, but I can't call myself a video game junkie because the video game system I have is PS3, but my soon-to-be brother-in-law has a PS4.
That's what I have.
I'm upset. Oh, do you have the virtual headset?
No, I don't. I did. I had it from Rent-A-Center, and then I was like, I'm not paying for this every time. I took it back.
Well, that thing actually makes me want that so bad. There was this game, I can't even remember what it was called, but it was this gun game, and it was like the most immersive. I was addicted. Like that's where I want to be.
Really cool.
Oh man!
But there's a new game that just came out on PS4 that I've been playing on the channel called Ghost of Tsushima, and it's literally a samurai epic. It is probably one of the best games. Like I've already come out and said it's like game of the year in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I've only played a few hours of it. And this is after playing The Last of Us Part 2, which you have access to the first one because you have PS3. The original Last of Us was on PS3. But then they remastered it for PS4. But The Last of Us Part 2 came out a couple weeks ago, and that was like a game that was like 25-something hours to complete.
Whoa.
So I originally planned on finishing on the channel, but then I was like, this isn't going to work. So I think I did 2 videos and never finished it. Now with Ghost of Tsushima, I'm actually trying to do a full playthrough of it.
Yeah.
But more of the exploring and stuff because it's an open world game. So you have all of that exploration and that kind of stuff I'm kind of tackling on my own time. And then I'll just focus on the main story stuff. That way I'm not doing it for like months and never completing a game. I've only ever finished 2 games on the channel. The first one was the Resident Evil 3 remake. Actually, that was the second one I finished because that came out this year. And then the first one was a game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, which is kind of dealing with like Vikings and mental health because she hears voices. So it's like a schizophrenia type of thing. And that one is a really, really well-made story that they're supposedly making a sequel for, which I believe will come out probably on the PS5, which is supposed to come out, I think, holiday of this year.
Are you going to get one?
Yes. If I can save up. I think the price point right now is like $600 or something like that. Like, it's not cheap.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's not cheap. But I've seen that it's supposedly going to have, like, no loading screens. And I've seen the... what is it? It's some kind of physical thing that they have with like the rendering of it. Ray tracing. They added ray tracing to it. So it took like the graphics of like Minecraft, where it's all like blocky and stuff like that. And I literally saw the comparison between that and like the ray tracing version of Minecraft, where everything moved from just the blocks to looking almost realistic.
Whoa.
Like, it was ridiculous.
That's so cool.
I was like, if Minecraft looked real like this, I'd probably play it. I'm not a fan of the Minecraft. I played it, but I just couldn't. I think for a little while I played it, but I couldn't get past the boxiness of it because I'm so used to the current stuff. I can go back to the boxiness of retro games, like if I'm playing Super Nintendo, that stuff I can do, but for some reason I couldn't. But if Minecraft looked like the way it does with the ray tracing, I'd probably play it. Yeah, I could play it a lot more often.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was... Okay, so you did Mandao, which would be the horror comedy. So what was it that drew you into wanting to make movies? That should be a good question for you.
That started when I was younger. Like, my parents put a tripod up with a camera, and I used to like just pretend to be Batman with my friends.
Nice.
And I never even got to see Batman Returns when I was younger because they were like, "This is too dark for you." I'm like, "What do you mean?"
Really?
Turn the brightness up. Turn the brightness. I don't know what you're talking about. But I eventually saw it.
I got that. That was good because I literally had to turn the brightness up on a game the other night because it was pitch black, which I think it was supposed to be because it was dark. But I was like, if I can't see where I'm going, I'm gonna have to turn the brightness up, or I'm never.
Yeah, you need some light. You need some light.
Something.
But I used to record, just like acted out what I knew from the comic book. I actually read the Batman Returns comic book before I ever saw the movie.
Nice.
And I'm a big fan of the first Batman too. I heard Michael Keaton's coming back, maybe.
Hopefully.
That would be amazing.
That's what I want. That's
Michael Keaton is my Batman.
Me too.
Yes.
Me too.
Same.
Him and Kevin Conroy, obviously, from the animated series, would be my two Batmans. But
yeah, they hit the nostalgia button so hard for me as well.
Right.
But it started out. I made movies throughout like junior high and high school with my friends, and like I said before, YouTube. So just so I could see the pleasure of like cutting together something. And then I've always wanted to do this. And then I went to Hollywood and tried just acting. But then I think this little renaissance that we're going through, this little mini renaissance, is basically just like, let's do what I used to do when I was younger, because that's what I'm passionate about. I want to keep making movies. Like, that's fun for me. That's what keeps me alive in a way, you know?
Right. I know exactly what you mean. Because like the YouTube is like the escape when you're just stressed out. So now, granted, I'd have dealt with a recent bout of depression, hence the 2 weeks. I went 2 weeks without dealing with anything. Yeah. So I know the struggles of that, as well as people like to, especially with like gamers and stuff like that. Like, I saw somebody on Twitter earlier today, which I try and stay off of as much as possible nowadays because everybody wants to be negative. It wasn't directed towards me, but I see the things where they try to say that people that stream or play video games and stuff like that, that they can't have issues with depression because people are paying them to play games. But they don't realize the toll it takes as a content creator and how much someone, whether streaming, doing videos, whatever, how much work you're actually putting into that can wear on you over time. So it is good for people to take breaks, and anybody can deal with depression. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody gets depressed or anxious from time to time. We all have fears and things that we're going through. So
that whenever I see that, it just frustrates me because it's like I can understand where the streamers are coming from, because as a content creator, it does put pressure on you. Yeah. And even though I'm still new to it, so you don't want to focus on numbers too much, you can't help but notice numbers. So if you notice stuff drop or you notice stuff staying stagnant, like being stuck at a certain number for a long period of time, it does wear on you for a while because you begin to wonder, am I doing anything wrong? But then you'll have that one comment from somebody that's like, hey, I'm using this to escape because I'm dealing with so much right now.
Yeah.
And this video is making me laugh. Thank you for that. And then those are the ones that motivate you to be like, okay, I realized this is why I'm doing this, which is why I do everything I do. is to provide that escape. So it kind of helps rejuvenate you a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to do it for 1 million people. You could start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But a lot of times when you follow your passion, I think it will grow into something.
It'll grow organically.
Yeah.
And really, when you're with YouTube, you want to start with a smart amount of people because you want the people that are going to be loyal to what you're doing that actually appreciate it. Because there's a lot of people out there, I hear it on my Instagram all the time, and I'm not even a big YouTuber. Like, I have 283 subscribers, so it's not like I'm some big, but they're constantly, they'll see me post something on Instagram, and they'll be like, sub for sub. And I'm like, you cannot buy into that mentality because that person is not going to watch your content. They literally just want your number. And a lot of my friends or other people that have like minds will say the same thing. It's like, you don't want the numbers. You want the people that are actually going to watch your stuff, interact with your stuff, enjoy your stuff.
Yeah.
Because what's the point in a number if they're not going to watch it? Because with YouTube, watching it really counts. So you need
quality.
The viewers. Yeah, you
actual
need the people
quality.
Watching.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Gina, you also acted in the movie, and I've made Scott talk almost this entire episode.
That's okay.
So now it's your turn to answer a little bit about what you enjoyed about acting in the film.
I love working with Scott. He's a really good director, and I just enjoyed that, he's the type of director that, I guess this gets into women's issues and stuff like that. He's not into the when it comes to the horror genre. A lot of times other directors, other people will use nudity or really glam looking women in his films, but he actually wanted me to do something different. He wanted me to look different and not look so super glam and just try to be a character. And so I really appreciate that. Working with him, it's more fun and and more nuanced, and and I really like that. I love the awkward humor and awkward situational comedy that he uses. It's just to me, I find that very fulfilling. And also with acting, not just for me but for the rest of the cast as well, he's very collaborative, and anytime someone has an idea, they talk to him about it, and he's very open-minded and easygoing.
I like good ideas. I love it.
Right.
Yeah. And so he's just really supportive. So I think that because of his acting background, because also at the time before we were filmmaking, I was also just an actor. I went through the audition route. I hated it. And so when when we were in that Korean restaurant and talking about making a film, I was like, well, that's got to be better than what we're doing now. Because it was just so unfulfilling. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten I was told I was fat. I was told, just thanks, bye, that kind of it's very disheartening. And so to make something yourself and have the creative control and freedom to do it yourself, that became so much more fulfilling. So even though Scott all his life was filmmaking, him bringing me into this, I just feel really blessed because it really opened my eyes of what could be, because I never produced before, and now I'm a producer. I'm a producer, I'm an actor.
3 movies.
Yeah, 3 movies in, and I know how to work with a very small budget, and just whatever he needs as a director or writer, I make it happen. And so that also gave me more I felt more like a boss, which is something, instead of being so more submissive and instead of being this actress trying to get appreciation or acceptance from people in Hollywood, Scott was just fully accepting and kind of pushed me to be more of a leader, and that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool seeing her blossom. Yeah,
and that is one of the things I respect the most about you or other independent people as well, is you're doing it despite people telling you that you can't.
Right.
Yeah. Since I'm like I said, I'm a firm advocate for chasing your dreams and doing it despite what anybody tells you. So it's always cool to see someone accomplishing that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's because we get that depression thing too.
Yeah,
all the time. It happens.
That's why I talked to you about it, because I was like, they probably deal with it too. They're making movies, so at some point in time, they've dealt with it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're on the bigger spectrum of stuff in Hollywood, you're probably gonna feel it. But especially when you're in the indie world and you're just, you know, like you said, you have to look at numbers sometimes. Like you don't want to, but it's like I see it. I see the numbers, and it can be depressing. But then at the end of the day, like you have to stop. I've gotten to a place where I can sort of not care as much what people think. The one thing I care about is like, do I like the movie? Is this something that I would be pleased with? Yeah.
That's where you end up. Because like at first I was really like, and it doesn't help that YouTube, like they have a YouTube Studio app, which I usually use on my phone when I'm trying to respond to comments. Second you turn that on, it's showing you your statistics. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that, like, it's like, oh, you dropped 7 subscribers in like the last whatever days, which I think YouTube might have been doing a thing, because I had a coworker at work that was subscribed to it, but if they haven't interacted with your channel, I think YouTube is just dropping the subscription for some reason.
Dumb.
Yeah, YouTube's been doing a lot of weird algorithmic
Yeah, they've been doing weird stuff for a while now.
Yeah.
So if there was another video platform, I would probably use it in addition to YouTube. But right now,
something has to be coming. You know, something has to be.
Isn't there BitChute?
I've heard of something like that. I don't know what it is, but and I know there's like Vimeo.
Well, yeah.
Which I was originally going to use Vimeo for Patreon, but then I saw you had to pay for it, and I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying a bill for this. I can do YouTube for free, and if I want to do Patreon exclusives, I just set the YouTube video to unlisted so that the only people that can see it can only see it with the link, and then I just put the link on the Patreon, and then they can watch it that way. Now, like I said, for this, it's going to be free for everybody anyway, so it doesn't matter. But,
right. That makes sense.
But that was another thing about your movies that I like, is that all of the acting is so well done, but it feels natural. Like it almost doesn't even feel like you're acting. And I think that comes with you all knowing each other so well that you can kind of just bounce off of each other naturally. Yeah,
I think so too. I think that's what's attractive about it. It doesn't have to feel so like forced or anything.
Right.
That what I like to do is get people who have good chemistry together. And the number one thing I learned on Schlep was rehearse, okay? Like rehearse. It doesn't mean get stale with it. It just means know where you're going, so that when you get to set and you have all these external things like camera, lighting, other things, that it means that you know where you're going and you actually have more room to improvise, believe it or not.
Right.
And I've written scripts for every one of these since Schlep, like full-on scripts. So Mandao and the sequel we actually shot a movie.
I was just about to segue into that next.
Perfect. Hey, we're on the same way.
Wait, they got to talk about the sequel because they just worked on that. I don't know. Are you finished with it, or are you still working on it?
Well, I'm editing now. So we shot the film in, what was it, like February, end of February,
beginning
early
of
March. Yeah, and right before COVID happened.
Yeah, literally 2 days. So we're SAG, like Screen Actors Guild actors. So our production was a union project, and
what a weird acronym for like
SAG.
It's called SAD, and we were just talking about depression. That's like
SAG.
SAG. Yeah.
SAG.
But I sent the paperwork that we have as a producer. You have to turn it in, and like literally the next day they shut down all film productions because of COVID.
That's crazy. Yeah, and I think you're the second people I've had that were affected by that. I believe the people, oh my goodness. One of the most recent episodes, I interviewed director Alejoya Montoya Marin, and I believe Cody Frank was the producer of an upcoming horror film that they're making. I feel really bad because I can't remember the name, so I'm probably going to edit this one out.
Okay, good.
or just edit the part in where I say the name because I remember what it is. But I backed their Kickstarter, I believe. But they were having the same issue where they were getting ready to film, and then the COVID hit. But I think it's finally opening back up, and they should be filming it very shortly.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah,
I meet a lot of the independent people like you and them through Twitter. So Twitter is like perfect for meeting new people that are into films and stuff like that.
We found that too. Yeah, I think that's very true.
I mean, it was crazy because we were thinking of postponing our production for like a week or so.
Yeah.
Because we had a lot of stuff going on in our personal life as well. And so, but then we were like, no, let's just get this done, because otherwise we're not going to be able to do it.
There's never a perfect time anyway. There's never.
No. And with this, it just would have just kept going and go. With the cases being back on the rise again and stuff like that, you probably would have just kept each time something opens up. Then you're like, I wonder if they maybe shouldn't have opened up.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but like with the Screen Actors Guild, they now have a safe set protocol. So like, I just skimmed through the rules, but there's a lot of more rules and regulations that's going to cost more money to add to your production in order to operate. So like there was just, if we did not film at the time that we did, we would not have filmed our sequel.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been game over for us. So
I'm glad you did, because I'll be looking forward to checking out the sequel for sure, since I loved both of the other movies. I obviously already know if I'm in love with the first two, they're not tied together, but if I'm in love with your first two films, chances are I'm going to love the next one too. So
I think if you like the first one, you'll like this one better. It has more confidence. It has, like, we know what we're doing right away, and boom. So I'm excited for you to see this, actually, very much, Tony.
And that's probably, like you were saying, with the Schlepp, where you had to shoot it more times, but I still fell in love with it just as much as I fell in love with Mandao. And like I said, I think it all comes down to the natural, like, you can relate to the characters and what they're going through, and then there's the comedy, like I said, with like talking about debris and like the world. That, I swear, that is my favorite line I've ever heard. Like, because that's me. Like, that's me misspeaking on almost every sentence.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
like I
awesome.
can relate to that. So I love that.
That's one of our favorite lines too, actually. We still say debris. We still say debris instead of debris now, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
But
I could see myself saying that on a future movie and then just shouting you guys out whenever I say, or like a future video. Like if I go into ruins or something and be like, this ruin is full of debris. Shout out to Schlepp the Movie by Gina and Scott Dunn.
Look at all this beautiful debris in the background.
It's just everywhere. It's perfect for the.
Go ahead.
It's perfect for the post-apocalyptic. Just like you just pronounced that too.
That could be a podcast name, Apocalyptic.
It probably is.
It's just about pop culture and you know. Well, you know what? Since we already are on the subject of the sequel, because that's what I'm in. I'm like steeped in that right now.
Yeah.
So we had done a fundraiser, a Kickstarter before Mandao, which led to Mandao. We did one that failed so hard. It was supposed to raise like $47,000, and we raised like $3 million, so we didn't get to keep it. You know.
Right.
So by the time we did Mandao and then we were ready to do like a sequel, we launched a Kickstarter, which was very scary for us, but we launched it for about $20,000.
Yeah.
And we raised $27,000.
Nice.
Yeah. So it felt like good just to kind of conquer that demon. Like, well, okay, let's go back. Let's not lose this time. Let's really get our shit together. Sorry, our crap together.
You're fine. Like I said, my show's, even though I don't swear, my show is listed as explicit. So you can cuss as much as you want.
Perfect.
That's just something on my end that I don't do.
No, I feel you.
Twisted Joker cusses all the time, so you're fine.
So we successfully fundraised and then got to make our movie. So I guess we're feeling good in the fact that, like, how many times do people get to make the next movie? A lot of times you can't make the next movie, and we got to because people got together and said, hey, we want you to make that next movie. And I guess that just feels really cool.
It feels really good.
After struggling so long with no one seeing anything, you know?
Right.
So,
yeah, that has to feel good because you made the other one and then you realize that people are liking it so much that they want to support you making the next one. So that's a good feeling to have.
There's no better feeling, actually.
Well, the other thing too is we actually see, Scott had the idea of Mandao being a trilogy, and then and then I had the idea, we both kind of did, of like making other ancillary products based off of it. Like, it would be really cool to do a comic book series, or even like a retro looking video game.
That would be cool.
Off of Mandao. Yeah. I would love to do
like
that.
NES style.
Yeah, like 16-bit or, you know, something like that.
8-bit, 16-bit, whatever.
Yeah. That would be really fun.
That would be amazing. There's a person that does like those retro style video games. I think he has a Patreon. It's called Puppet Combo. You can find him on Twitter, and he does a lot of those retro style horror games.
Oh.
You may be able to talk to him. Look him up.
I don't
know him. I think I briefly knew him personally because I was on his Patreon. At one point, he was going to put me in one of his games. I don't know if it ever happened because I'm not on the Patreon anymore. But I think he was just taking people's faces and scan. It's Puppet Combo is the name.
Combo. Okay.
You can find a lot of his stuff on YouTube as well. Like, because a lot of people play his games, because even though they look like old PlayStation 1 style graphics,
oh yeah,
but they're still horror and they're absolutely terrifying. Like, I think one of the first ones he did was called Power Drill Massacre.
Ooh.
And it was, yeah, I've seen the videos of it. I was like, these games look terrifying, and they're always out there. So if you want to, yeah, I would suggest going through somebody like that. Because I think it would be cool, because he would probably work with you on that. Because, like I said, with the astral projection and traveling back in time, that's like a perfect fit for an amazing video game.
I agree.
And like every level, you get to play a different character.
Yeah, and I'd be like, Puppet Combo, please do this game, because now I want to play your game on YouTube since I already support the movie. Now I want to play the game too.
Yes. Okay, I wrote that down, so I'm gonna actually see what we can do.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take a minute here, since you guys are on the show. You're gonna see me looking away for a minute. I want to see if there is any weird news. Maybe you guys would like to hear some weird news, just because it's what I normally do. I don't know how long. I think we've already gone over an hour already. That hour goes by fast.
Yeah, it's like that.
It goes, but that's why I was like, how much time do you have? Because I may just ramble on for a long period of time. That's okay. Woman seeking owner of a photo strip found in a used book.
Ooh, that's weird.
Oh, here we go. House used for Golden Girls exterior shots listed for $3 million.
$3 million?
Wow.
$3 million. And it was only exterior shots, so I assume it wasn't used for that much of the... Because wasn't this the Golden Girls filmed on the inside?
Exteriors.
Yeah, because I bet you I'm sure they had a build set on a sound stage or something.
Here we got a leopard cub that escaped enclosure at South Carolina Zoo. We've been seeing a lot of that in weird news lately, has been directly dealing with animals.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like, I think the last few episodes, one of the first episodes when Ming and Mike were on, I believe it was goats. And they were, like, taking over the towns in, like, the UK or something near a pub. One of the last episodes, it was cows, like a whole, like, herd of cows. Is it called a herd?
Cattle,
herd. Cattle, herd, something like that, was, like, swarming it. And then there was one where it was a kangaroo. I think we found one where it was a cop car. It was literally I wish I could find this again. But it was an escaped horse, and you see the horse running across the screen. And then you see the cop car going across the screen trying to chase down the horse. That was one of the funniest weird news things I've seen.
Wait, but how does a couple taking care of a stray cat lead to $50,000 lottery jackpot?
A Kentucky
jackpot.
That's a good idea. Let's click on it. Let's click on it and find out. Let's see. They take care of a stray cat, paid off when they stopped to buy food for the feline, and won a $50,000 lottery jackpot.
Nice.
What the heck's a jackpot?
See?
Maybe they hit the jackpot of Hot Pockets, so it's a jackpot.
Oh, that sounds good. Hot Pockets sounds really good right now.
Ooh, that does sound good.
I was eating those nonstop for a while because they're relatively cheap, but I have acid reflux. So after a while, I was like, I can't eat these anymore. They're hurting me. Doesn't matter what kind of pills I'm on.
Yeah, I have that too, actually.
There was another one I think we saw recently where a woman went to the bathroom and her husband got the jackpot from a lottery while she was using the bathroom. So awesome. The way it was worded was like man wins jackpot by woman using bathroom. It was worded really weird. We were like, what the heck is that?
Clickbait. It's clickbait.
Yeah. Minnesota police use drones to catch nude and topless sunbathers. Hopefully you guys aren't planning on going nude sunbathing anytime soon.
Not this week.
In Minnesota. Entangled owl. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff dealing with animals. It got entangled in a soccer net. That's really sad.
Oh, poor thing.
A firefighter does 5,297 burpees in 12 hours.
Dude, that's tough. Can you imagine?
I mean, you can look at me. I don't exercise very much. I cannot imagine doing that much.
That's too much.
In a 12-hour period. Here's another kangaroo.
Captured by police in Florida City.
Then we got firefighters free teen from baby swing and TikTok stunt gone wrong. That sounds like the kind of thing that Twisted Joker would be like, what? And start laughing at.
Yeah.
So I guess she was probably doing something for TikTok and she got stuck in the baby swing and the firefighters had to come and get her out.
I'm amazed at what people will do for attention on social media.
Yeah, I don't even do TikTok.
No.
We don't either.
I do the Twitter, the Facebook, and Instagram for promotion, but I don't really mess around with I have YouTube. Like, I don't need to do a 30-second video when I can do, like, an hour-long video. Oh, excuse me. That would be the coffee I drank. I think, but I stayed up till, like, almost 5 a.m., and then I woke up at, like, 10 or 11.
How do you feel?
Good, because I just drank that cup of coffee. That's
that coffee.
Caffeine. Which is funny because it actually says coffee is bad for people who have acid reflux too, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but caffeine, I cannot go without doing any caffeine. I'd rather deal with the heartburn. Tea? I have done that too. I drink a lot of tea now as well. Okay. But when I want the extra kick, like, hence probably why I'm rambling so much, but it not only hypes me up for the episode, which got me in that mode to be even more excited, but it also helps ease some of the tension or the nerves. Because I won't lie, I still get nervous every now and again when I have guests on. So I was a little nervous. Once I start talking, that all goes away.
Every time I do a podcast, I get nervous too. It doesn't go away. So.
Yeah, I think I saw this one recently, and this is where I live, Pennsylvania. So how ironic! A rare and smelly corpse flower blooms in Pennsylvania.
What's a corpse flower? What
sounds very?
Let me see if we can. Oh, there's a YouTube video of it. I don't really want to watch the whole YouTube video because it's probably going to play an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly.
What did I just say?
Yep.
Even though I have YouTube Premium, this isn't currently connected to YouTube Premium, but let's see if I can cheat the system here. I just want to see what the corpse flower looks like.
Wow.
Is it that red one?
Yeah.
The main one?
The big one? Is it this?
Yep.
It's cooler looking than
that. That's a big flower. And bloom at Longwood Gardens for 48 hours only. So I guess it smells so bad that they're like, we're going to bloom this for 48 hours and then we're getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Because I imagine with a name like, it says
Amorphous Titanium.
Amorphous Titanium. Signature odor, which has often been compared to the scent of rotting meat.
Yummy.
As much as I'd love to see flowers, I don't think I'd love to smell flowers at this point if they smell like that.
Not like that. Not like that.
Yeah.
Makes me hungry, though. I don't know.
Really? I mean, I guess if you like hamburger, then maybe it'd make you think of hamburger.
I think I'm just hungry anyway.
I miss In-N-Out Burger.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. A cow wandering into an Australian police station. What did I just say about freaking animals and cows? They're taking over.
Yeah.
Man on rafting trip rescues a coyote pup from drowning.
Whoa!
Oh, poor thing.
That thing is cute.
Very cute.
I've never seen a coyote pup before, but that thing is cute.
I want it.
There's a lot. We're in Arizona, so we hear them a lot.
Oh yeah, you hear them. What's it like in Arizona? That seems like a cool kind of state to live in.
Beautiful.
I don't hear a lot of people that live in.
It's beautiful. It's chill. Right now it's like 108, something like that. But there's a pool out back, so it's like really.
It's nice.
It's time to swim.
It's very chill. Cost of living is low. I mean, because we used to live in LA, and then right when COVID hit, we fled LA to Arizona.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I always said if I was gonna move out of Pennsylvania or just move somewhere, I would just want to move somewhere like in Arizona or like a Wisconsin, somewhere that's just absolutely in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because it feels like it'd be really relaxing.
Yeah, I recommend. Doctors remove live worm from woman's tonsil.
Oh, I bet that's a video.
Ooh,
I hope it is.
Creeps me out.
Here we go.
Company seeks wine taster for over $300.
Yeah, it makes it over $300 to drink wine. I don't even drink, but I mean, $300.
That's not bad. You might start.
Getting paid to drink? Okay.
Honey leaking through walls alerts Pennsylvania couple to bee infestation.
Wow.
That sounds like an interesting, like you would think of like horror movies, like maybe blood would be dripping down the walls or something like that. But suddenly you're seeing honey leaking down your walls.
Wow.
That would be interesting. Bear opens the front door and goes into the house to look for pizza.
How do they know they're looking for pizza?
He was just looking for food.
No, pizza.
But he found pizza.
He's looking for pizza specifically.
Ooh, pizza sounds good.
Well, I know you're familiar with pizza because in one of your two movies, I saw pizza quite a bit. I don't remember which one it was.
Shoot,
it was either Schlepp or I can't remember if it was Schlepp or Mandao.
Oh, Schlepp. Yeah. Schlepp. Yeah.
I thought it was Schlepp, but I was like, I don't want to just say it's Schlepp and be wrong, so I'm just gonna say it was one of the two movies I've seen.
You got it. Schlepp.
Tiger fleeing flooding takes shelter in villager's goat shed.
Oh, whoa.
Hopefully, it didn't attack the goats. This is the stuff that people are doing during COVID when they're really bored. A man keeps 3 balloons in the air for over an hour just to achieve a Guinness World Record.
Huh.
1 hour, 12 minutes, 50 seconds.
We could beat that.
Yeah, we could beat that.
Whenever I was in the Army National Guard, I didn't finish my contract, so I don't talk about it very often. But I remember in one of our training our training, I think it was actually before the basic training because I did the GED course. We had to stand there because we got punished whenever somebody would do something wrong. The whole unit would get punished.
Oh,
and we had to hold the M16s above our head for like a really long period of time. That stuff will wear you out. Just that motion of having your arms up.
Yeah, the blood's draining. Yeah.
Yeah, it got real. Sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers, the original, auction for a record of $114,000.
That's amazing.
Highest price ever paid for a video game.
Yeah,
Seriously,
those are the kind of NES
nuts.
games. I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah, super. My wife recently, and I feel really bad about it because I had it 2 days and it broke it. She bought me something for $20 and it was a case for my iPhone. This isn't it, obviously, because the one I got was broken. Mm-hmm. But it was the NES, looks like the Game Boy, and it has the buttons on it, and you could actually play the original Super Mario Brothers and like 20 I think it was a total of 32 NES games you could actually play on the case.
Oh, what?
I think it came from China, which is probably why you were able to do that. So it's probably an emulator of some form.
Yeah.
Yeah, the case was literally like a case for the iPhone. It fit perfectly for, I think I have an iPhone 8 possibly, so 7, 8, and 9. And it has the buttons and the little D-pad thing, and then it has a little screen, and it lets you actually play the games on your phone case. The only issue I had with it, which is how I eventually broke it, was because it was a phone case, when I'm at work, because it has buttons, if I bump something, the stupid case would turn itself on.
Oh, yeah.
And we're technically not supposed to have our phones on our persons when we're doing stuff, which some people, obviously, they don't care. They're not as strict because people will listen to their headphones and stuff, and that's their device for that nowadays, for Spotify and stuff like that. But yeah, so I was trying to take the case off, and the case was like so thick on it that when I finally got it off, I was like, oh, I got it off. And then I went to turn it on later, and it was like cracked on the inside of the screen and no longer worked. And I was like, man, it only lasted like 3 days. But I have that Super Nintendo Classic, that little mini one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're lucky.
I can play like the Super Mario World and stuff like that. And they had ways, I don't know how much we could talk about it, but they had ways of where you could add other games onto that.
Really?
I'm not going to talk too much because I don't know how legal that is.
Yeah.
But there was ways you could add in like Sega games and other stuff and have like a wealth of a collection of things on there. So I think I have one that has more than the built-in games on it. I haven't used it in a while, but it has other stuff.
Lucky. You're lucky.
British man breaks Guinness record for indoor Ironman triathlon. Here's another women's jackpot winning lottery numbers came from a dream.
Wow,
that
cool.
Seems interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
A large grass fire caused by a bird crashing into power lines. How big was that freaking bird, man? It was taking the whole power lines down.
There's
another bear tearing out a home's window screen and pokes its head inside.
Oh,
I imagine I would probably scream the way I scream in my horror games, which is very high-pitched and girly, if a bear was looking at me through my screen window. Yes, you all probably have no idea what happened for like the last 20 minutes of the podcast because I was showing Scott and Gina some of my videos, and this is most likely that's going to be edited out, especially from the audio-only version because nobody will be able to hear it. But I hope you guys who have Amazon Prime out there, be sure to check out Mandao of the Dead. Also, be sure to check out Schlep the movie. Check out Mandao. What is it? Mandao Returns?
Mandao Returns coming probably the end of this year. We'll see.
So be on the lookout for that. I will let you both leave like your social medias and stuff where people could check you out.
Awesome. Mine is Scotty Dunn Did It on Twitter. Follow me there. I'm also on YouTube. Look up Scotty Dunn Filmmaker. And also follow us on Mandao Movie at Mandao Movie on Twitter. You can keep up with everything on there, really.
Yeah. And my Twitter is at Gina Gomez Dunn.
Alrighty. I want to thank you both for coming on the podcast. Hopefully, I would like to get you on again, maybe after Mandao Returns comes out, so we can talk
love to.
Yeah.
more about it and stuff like that. And maybe by then, I'll have a day where my co-host can come on as well, so we can have more people on the show.
No,
Like I said,
we had a blast.
Yeah, I really appreciate you all coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast as well. You are a tremendous interview, tremendous people. So hopefully everybody gives you all a follow and checks out your movies. Keep on killing it out there. I will be watching very closely what you guys are doing in the future.
Thank you so much, Tony.
All right. Until next time, this is for YouTube. Until next time, stay Rexy, everybody. I'll see you all in the next video. If you're new to the YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Go to the Scotty Dunn, filmmaker?
Scotty Dunn Filmmaker, yeah. Scott Dunn.
Go to Scotty Dunn Filmmaker and subscribe to his channel as well for some amazing content and amazing videos, and check out all their social medias. And yeah, we'll see you all in the next video. But until then, stay Rexy, everybody.